when I drive to work in the mornings, I don't listen to music. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about ways I can be better in rugby, ways I can be better off the field as a partner, as a friend, in business. Like there's a lot of things I'm thinking about, and I just love letting my brain be creative like that.
Welcome to a special episode of a West Australian sports show. It's February, which means Super Rugby Pacific is just around the corner, and the Western Force are set to get their campaign underway against the Brumbies at HBF Park on February 14. My name is Ben Smith, and today I'm joined by a man who not just bleeds green and gold, but also black and gold and blue because, you know, he's a Western Force guy. He's as parochial as Sandgropers come. He's a Wallabies forward, a Western Force star, and last year's Rugby Australia Awards winner for Australia's Super Rugby Pacific Player of the Year. His name's Carlo Tizzano, and I'm absolutely delighted to have him in the studio. How are you going?
Hey, mate. Yeah, good. Glad to be here.
That's good. How's your day been going so far?
Busy, man. Busy. I've got a lot going on behind the scenes. Announced that I'm having a baby yesterday, so put that up on Instagram.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
How's your partner Emma feeling about it all?
Yeah, she's feeling good. She's feeling good. Really excited. Baby boy. So Western Force have already been discussing contract talks. Yeah, we're holding off a bit. We're not sure if rugby's going to be the go, but I don't know. We'll wait and see. Whatever he wants to do.
Other than rugby, is there a sport you'd like to see your son potentially play?
Not too picky. I don't want to force it too much. Like obviously, rugby would be a big part of his life. But if he wants to play rugby, doesn't want to play rugby, it's up to him. But yeah, then it was the birthday on Monday as well. So I'm like catching up with birthday and pre-season. So birthday messages. Then I have happy everyone messaging me like, oh, congrats on the pregnancy, et cetera, et cetera. So I've just been playing catch up all day today and doing some stuff behind the scenes with a little business I started and some renovations on a house. So I'm busy, man. Very busy, but that's how I like it.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking off air as well. You do a lot of podcasts. You very briefly had a podcast yourself, I believe.
Yeah. It was harder than we thought to get off the ground, just in terms of logistics and it was. That's as much detail I can go into it, to be honest.
You know, are your vlogs going to be coming back for another year? They were so successful last year. You've got 3,500 subscribers on YouTube. How did they come about? And, you know, what's that like in terms of getting them off the ground every single week and the editing process and the filming process as well?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm proud of myself for doing one for every single Super Rugby game last year. Even the bye weeks.
That's an effort, right?
Oh,
like,
massive
you've got to take your stuff on the plane as well. Everyone else is packing foam rollers and you're just like camera, tripod.
Yeah, so I had just this little camera, so a little pocket camera, which was pretty handy, but I had someone help me with the editing, which made a big difference. But it's just like having to think, okay, I got to film for this week, got to do this, got to do that. It's a lot of mental load, and it's actually quite physically loading as well. But I'm going to do my best to be as consistent as possible with it. I don't think I'll be every single week, just because I got a heap of stuff going on behind the scenes. Like I just started online business around mental skills and high performance. So that's taking up a lot of my time at the moment because I'm trying to help educate a lot of young athletes around mental skills and high performance. So that's a lot of me sending voice notes to athletes that, you know, might want to work with us or seek any type of help around that. And I help them out as best I can through the experiences that I've had and working with a coach around that. So that's taking a lot of my time. So the vlogs are going to take a little bit of a backward step, but I'm going to do my best because the people love them. I have so many people that come up to me and say they love the vlogs. People commenting on my pregnancy post. Yes, I'm not pregnant. My announcement.
We should clarify that because at the top you said
the announcement post saying announcement post saying new character unlocked in the vlogs. It's they popped off though. Emma gets asked for autographs now.
Oh,
we
wow!
Got Force Fan Day on the weekend. She was getting asked for autographs.
Someone did once say she was the breakout star of the vlogs.
Yeah, she was. She was definitely the breakout star. So yeah, I'm not sure if they'll be back, but no, they will be back, but not fully.
Yeah. Who out of all your Western Force teammates goes AWOL the moment they see you approaching with a camera in hand? Because it's very, for those who haven't seen it, for those listening to the pod who haven't seen the vlogs, it's so all access. It's just like, there's no filter. It's just your pure essence distilled, which is what people gravitate towards, the fact that you are authentically yourself. You're not trying to, it doesn't feel like you're putting on a character in the vlogs. It just feels like the camera's just kind of accompanying you on a day-to-day.
Yeah, that's the type of tone I wanted to go with for the vlogs, because you don't really get that in sport, to be honest. The only access you get to players, especially in rugby at the moment, is just through the Western Force channels or the Wallabies channels. So I thought if I kind of step up as a player and try and grow the game there and give people insight, then it makes a big difference. But probably the player that shies away the most is Hamish Stewart.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he's very straight away just nothing. So, but that's why I love him.
I've interviewed Hamish a few times. He's obviously a great player for the Force, has played for Wallabies a few times. He's not someone that enjoys the limelight whatsoever. And that kind of, you see that in the way he plays as well, right? He's just like an honest, no thrills about him, hard-nosed, I'm going to run as hard as I can at the opponent sort of player. And that's kind of reflected in what he's like off the field, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. He's what you get on the field is definitely what you get off the field. He's a great fella. I love playing with him.
You mentioned it earlier, but with the vlogs, people are coming up to you more. People are kind of recognizing you a bit more. How do you deal with that? You've talked about wanting to put Western Force and yourself and rugby on the map in WA. Like, what's that increased attention like on a day-to-day basis where I'm sure you kind of want to just kind of get on with your life a bit, but then, someone's coming up and wanting to have a chat about the Force or the Wallabies and asking for an autograph?
To be honest, I'm really open to it. I love that people have the courage. Sometimes people don't have the courage to come up to their favorite athletes or whatever and ask for a photo or autograph, because I know a lot of the Force boys, Wallabies boys were all very generous with our time and time for the fans, because the game would not be where it is unless it was for the fans. And also, I'm really big on, I try and do my best, especially on my social media. Like, say I got families reach out to me and they always say, oh, I got a son who plays for this club in Perth and wants to play for the Western Force, this, that. I try and reply as best I can. Obviously, my inbox is crazy full of DMs, but I'll try and bring him into the Force facilities, because I think being one of the only few West Australian Wallabies is a big responsibility on me to keep growing the game and leave the game in a better place from where it was left for me. So I try and bring him into the facilities and show him around, show him the legends up in the gym, like I'm sure you've seen, and kind of let them know that this is real. Like, if they want to do this dream, this is their dream. It is achievable. If I can do it, I'm sure as hell you can do it. And I love kind of being in that position. It's a lot of responsibility, but it's a massive honor to be in that position, to be able to show fans or young kids aspiring to be you and be the position you're in. So, yeah. Yeah,
there's not been, as you say, that many WA boys who have gone on to play for the Wallabies. We think of Dane Hale at Petty, we think of an Ollie Hoskins, yourself, Curtis Rona, I believe, played for the Wallabies a couple of times. Like, how much pride do you take in being able to represent Perth on the world stage when you do pull on that green and gold jersey?
Yeah, everything. It's really, really important for me. I think all Western Australian athletes are very proud that they were from Western Australia, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, it means everything to me. And I think the honour to pull on the Force jersey every weekend for 6 months of the year is pretty cool, because it's like I'm playing State of Origin. It's like a State of Origin for me every single week. So it's a massive honour, and I'm just super lucky that I've had guys previously before me, like Kane Kateka and Openside Flanker.
Still with the Force.
Still with the Force. Yeah. Richard Hardwick. Hodjo's obviously from New South Wales, but
he's an adopted Perth.
He's adopted. He was adopted West Australian. So have guys like that to look up to when I was coming through the ranks is pretty cool. And now I've got to do the same for the younger people coming through.
Yeah. By the time this podcast comes out as well, you will have been announced as a nominee for the SportWest WA Sports Star Award. You've accumulated so many honours and plaudits over the last year. How does it feel to be recognised a bit closer to home in a sporting landscape which is, let's be honest, pretty AFL dominated?
Huge. I was looking the other day on who's won this award, and I actually got nominated for it last year. The difference this year I made as a finalist. So remember last year I got nominated. I was looking at the list of people that have won this award, and like Sam Kirk several times. I think Ben Cousins won it. Some pretty high profile athletes. A lot of Olympians that won gold. So to be in the mix around the previous winners, but also the caliber of athletes that have been that are finalists this year, just to be in that realm with those boys and girls. It's pretty cool, man. Like definitely if I get even just being a finalist is up there and one of my proudest achievements, that's for sure. And to potentially win it, that'll be up there pretty high.
And to represent rugby as well, like we said, there's not many. I don't think there's any rugby players who have won the award off the top of my head. Like, what would it mean to you if you would win? And the fact that you're nominated alongside Trilene Pomare from Western Force Women, who is another fantastic ambassador for rugby, not just in Australia, but as a local Perth product.
Yeah, it'd be super special. And Trills she's the GOAT. I always call her the GOAT when I see her. She does an awesome job. She's done such a good job over the last couple of years, not years, decade, representing the women's side of the game and just the Western Force in general. So to even be in that list with her is a massive honour. Like I said, she's the GOAT. A lot of respect for her and a lot of time for her. So
we're obviously coming to that time of pre-season where, the season's so close we can almost touch it. Super Rugby Pacific launch was actually in Auckland today. I believe Nick Dolly went over to represent the Force.
I couldn't do it because I had training, so they settled for the scraps. I hope he listens to that.
How is Nick's knee reconstruction going? He's obviously quite close to returning, but he obviously missed that British and Irish Lions game, like due to a very flukish knee injury at the last minute. Like, how's his recovery tracking? He's a bit of a cult figure and a bit of a hero amongst the Force fans, mainly because of the mullet, let's be honest. But he obviously did have a really good season and was probably someone pushing for Wallabies contention as well.
He's doing really well. The thing about Dolly is that he might not be the most athletic guy, but there's one guy who is an absolute workhorse, and he's just trying to perfect his craft, not only with his body, but also with his skill. His line-out throw is on point. He's scrummaging strong. His actual general skills around the park are really solid as well. He's one of those guys who always, when he's in rehab, he always comes out of rehab a much better athlete and person. And I just love seeing how he's progressed over the last 6 to 8 months since his surgery, and he's looking in good nick. And I'm excited to have him back in the mix. And I think that hooker position in general, I think for us this year, the Force is going to be really, really competitive. You got Brandon Pangamosa, who's Wallaby and arguably, is one of the best hookers in Australia. Very close friend of mine as well, because I'm very biased. And then you got Lionel who's just come from Argentina. Very good player, solid scrummager, very good around the park as well. And then you got Bertie Alcock, who's young fella, but around the park he goes hard. He'll be on the verge of world class around the park. And his set pieces getting there as well. He's one of those guys like Dolly wants to just keep going at his craft, but he's a way better athlete than Dolly. Then you got Nick Dolly coming back from injury as well, who's like, he's represented England. He's an international player, and like you said, he was probably on the cusp of Wallabies last year with how he went that Super Rugby season. So it's exciting, very, very exciting to see just the depth there as well. It's one thing having a really good player in the position, but if you've got the depth there as well, it means they're constantly competing with each other, which is just going to make them all better as players as well.
I remember interviewing Nick when he first moved down to the Force from England after he spent some time there. He was someone that his development is so different to most rugby players, right? Like, he was not in many high-performance programs until he went to England on holiday, got noticed by a scout, and then was given the opportunity. As someone yourself who had a bit of you came through a couple of different systems. Obviously, you're at the Force, you're at the Waratahs, then you went over to Ealing Trailfinders in England. It's not the development pathway a lot of people picture when it comes to an up-and-coming professional. Nick always said, he's spoken about this in the past, but some boys you just need to throw them into a professional atmosphere and they just, to get the best out of them. Like, in his case, he he wasn't part of a Super Rugby academy. He didn't get that chance. So his potential kind of went untapped for a while. It wasn't until he went into a high performance environment that he realized that, oh, hey, I can do this. There's Someone who yourself, you had a bit of a different kind of rise through the ranks. Do you feel like that is kind of a case that sometimes some players that maybe don't get the opportunities they need, and because they don't get the opportunities, their potential goes, unearthed?
Yeah, definitely. I think you could definitely uncover a lot of diamonds in the rough with chucking guys straight in that high performance environment. But then also at the same time, some guys, you chuck them straight in the high performance environment and they probably take it for granted. You see that a lot as well. A lot of superstars get put straight in and then they fade off as well. So it's just like, again, that person with the right attitude, and Dolly's one of those guys who has those attitudes where he just wants to get better every day. I was pretty lucky that I was quite talent scouted when I was younger with the Western Force, the academy. I was in all the state teams growing up out in the West. So I was put into a professional environment when I was 17 and started training with the Western Force when I was still in school when Hodjo's last year, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I've been very lucky in that sense. But then, like you said, my journey has been a roller coaster ride. So I get put in the Western Force to train with them full time when I'm 17, still in school. I feel like I've made it. I'm here. I'm rubbing shoulders with some of the best, and then they get cut. So it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? I had the Australian Schoolboys coming up, then I got injured, right, 2 weeks before the Australian Schoolboys. So then I actually got invited to Melbourne Rebels for a preseason there and did the best I could. And then the Western Force came back had their own competition through Twiggy. So it's just like, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like that's just been my whole career. Like even when the Australian 20s for me, I was supposed to, coach said I will be selected in the team, but I had an injury. When I came back to being good again, just played my first game back, he said, "Oh mate, we're just going to bring you in as a development player because I had another year of 20s left," and then trained really well, then end up bringing me into the squad full time. So it's just like just taking opportunities where you can, and then like you said, me going to Ealing Trail Finders, that was an experience and a half. But then let's say I was only at Ealing for 10 months and found myself back at the Force, back playing Super Rugby. Then a year later, I'm playing for the Wallabies against South Africa. So it's a roller coaster ride, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, probably more downs than ups, but just makes you really grateful for your journey and where you are. One thing I realized turning 26 on Monday was...
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I woke up, I was like, wow, time goes fast. One thing I realized is like we only have so many years in this profession. It's a bloody good profession to be in, and sometimes you can be a little bit ungrateful for it as well. So it kind of made me realize, like we have the best job in the world. Get to do what I love. I'm passionate about this. I get to go in every day to work, play rugby with my mates, and then go home to my fiance with a beautiful baby boy on the way. So it's just it makes you really grateful for the process, the journey, and also grateful for the work you put in as well. I look back and my attitude when I was at Ealing, I could have easily spat the dummy and be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Or when the Force got cut and just spat the dummy and done that. Or Waratahs when things weren't going my way. But I always stuck true to myself, my habits and my goals. I always had that end goal in mind of becoming a Wallaby and, becoming a great Wallaby. And I'm proud of that. It's just, like I said, it's an absolute roller coaster.
You've kind of alluded to it a bit earlier, but one of the things you're really interested in is visualization. Is that something you've had to develop over time, or does that stem from when you were 18, 19, coming through the ranks and having a grasp of that concept? Because it feels like it's something I didn't really hear much about in a professional sporting context up until like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably, there's a bit more noise about it now. I was actually a really big manifester when I was younger. I got it from my dad. So my dad, there's this book and movie called The Secret, and it's all about the law of attraction.
Yeah, right.
A lot of athletes are really into that stuff, and my dad's really into it as well. He's definitely no athlete. He's real big. Like when we were younger, we'd go to the shopping center or whatever, and he'd be like, I want a parking, I want it now. And he genuinely would picture a parking spot open exactly where he wants it to. And when we get it.
Did you think he was magic or had superpowers or something?
It's just like he just said, if you can visualize it here, you can see it, you can make it happen. And that's always been the case for me. I've always, whenever I've invested in mental skills. That's why I started the high performance formula, because I know how much benefit there is to this. This stuff works. I remember in 2017 when I moved to the open side flanker, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be an open side flanker, how the hell am I going to become professional? I'm years behind everyone else who's a back rower in Australia for my age group. So I really had to break it down. These are the goals I want to hit. I need to picture myself achieving these goals, picture myself in my end goal, becoming a Wallaby, and live those habits that are going to get me there every single day. And I did that. I remember in 2017, the first time I ever really did that, I achieved every single goal that was on my phone screensaver. I still have that screensaver to this day. Still have it saved. It's not my screensaver. Obviously, I've changed that up, but it's just crazy when you put your mind to something, you genuinely believe you can achieve it, and you live that life that's going to get you there every single day. You can do it. And that's like a big thing I'm really big on, showing those families around and those young, aspiring Western Force athletes around HQ is like, you can see those legends up there. I used to come in this gym when I was 14 and look at Nick Cummins when I was a winger and be like, that's going to be me. I'm going to be up there one day. Then, I start going to the Western Force as a 17-year-old, as a back row. I'm seeing Hodjo, the gold banner. That's what I want to be. That I want to be like that. That's going to be me. He's he's the greatest player to play the club. I want to be that. So now and the thing is, you have to live it every single day. And I think visualizing it as well, that's definitely developed over the years for me. Before, it was all the manifestation of, picturing myself somewhere like in the future. Now my visualization now is a lot about me in the present, around what I'm going to be doing in the game on that weekend, what areas of the game I think I really insert myself, or what are my processes. And it's really powerful, because your mind actually can't tell the difference between actually doing it and visualizing it. So for me, as a back rower, open side flanker is probably the physically most demanding position in rugby, depending how you play. Definitely the way I play, it's quite physically demanding. You can't always just be on the field for the longest and bashing your body up. There needs to be some form of recovery there.
Some respite, right?
Exactly. And that's probably something I didn't do very well when I was younger. I was first on the field, last off it, and this is going to make me tough and this is going to make me the best. But it did in a certain way, and it instilled some really good habits in me. At the same time, I was going to games really sore and tired and bashed up. So now I've pulled back and I just visualize more and just picture myself doing that, putting myself in the stadium at HBF Park, hitting that maul as hard as I can so we get that maul try of, doing a quick pick and go, or carrying hard, or tackling hard, getting on the ball, all those little things I do in games. I picture that. I'm visualizing that all throughout the week so I can do it on the weekend, instead of having to always do it in training and then maybe get a niggle here and there and then go into game sore, and no one wants that, because in rugby you never go into game 100%, but if you can get yourself as close to 100% as possible, then you're doing pretty well.
When you were an up-and-coming winger and you idolised Nick Cummins, did you ever visualise yourself with his hair?
I used to have his hair.
Did you actually?
Yeah, just a lot thicker brown hair, yeah.
Was that because of him, or was it just...
kind of because of him. I used to look up to him big time. I played exactly like him when I was on the wing. Played with 13 as well and fullback. So, the Honey Badger was my hero till he brushed me at a game. Then I hated him.
No, did he?
He completely brushed me. So then I was really off him. Then I saw him at the Nathan Sharp medal in 2018. I got into him about it, and he's like, I don't know who you are, mate. I was like, fair play.
So we won't be seeing you bringing it back, and with the thick mo that he used to have as well.
Yeah, no, that won't be coming.
Let's look at the present rather than the past. You had such an incredible season with the Force in 2025. You led the league with 13 tries, which is an insane amount for a forward. Normally that's the domain of the outside backs. Maybe that is your past version of yourself, a former winger in you. You recorded 34 tackles without a miss in that incredible drought-breaking win in Canberra over the Brumbies. It was your best season as a rugby player, as we mentioned. You won Rugby Australia's Super Rugby Pacific Player of the Year. My question to you is, after what was effectively a bit of a breakout season, or you taking the leap from a good to great player, how do you go to the next level? Like, how is it mentally taxing to have to think, okay, now I've got to find a new level after I had such a good season last year?
No, not really. I don't think it's mentally taxing. One thing like I said, I invest a lot of mental skills and high performance. And the biggest thing for me is being and this is something I've lived by my whole life, and it's a really big core value for me, is just trying to constantly evolve and be the best version of myself. So even when as soon as my break, like I guess you can say I finished the rugby year, I was, all right, how am I going to be even better for this Wallabies season coming up? And then as soon as I finished my Wallabies season, I'm like, okay, how can I be even better for my Western Force season? I've always been like that. I grew up in a competitive household. I'm the second youngest of 4. So I've always been tested like that. And just being from Western Australia and a rugby environment, you're always a bit of the underdog. So you have to be hungry like that. And I really enjoy that. I enjoy being constantly trying to get better and find little ways I could be better. Sometimes it's simplifying and doing less. Sometimes it's doing more. Sometimes it's thinking outside the box. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it, but like that thought process, I love it. I genuinely love it. Like when I drive to work in the mornings, I don't listen to music. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about ways I can be better in rugby, ways I can be better off the field as a partner, as a friend, as in business. Like there's a lot of things I'm thinking about, and I just love letting my brain be creative like that, and then bring it to life, like practicing a particular skill and thinking about a skill that maybe no one's really thought about, or you don't know anyone that's thought about it, and then training it and then performing it in training, then in a game is really, really cool. That's the stuff I love doing. So I wouldn't say that's a mentally taxing thing. It's a challenge, obviously. But it's a challenge I live up to, and I enjoy.
You've spoken about your ADHD diagnosis in the past. I think I get a sense that you see it as a real, huge boost to your rugby career, because your brain is constantly thinking about, how do I do this better? How do I do that better?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest change for me was when I got diagnosed, is me understanding, okay, this is why I am the way I am. Before, I would have a lot of internal battles with myself because, like I said, I think a lot. So I have this internal voice saying, oh, I shouldn't be thinking about rugby, or I shouldn't be thinking about this. I need to be relaxing. And that internal dialogue actually would burn me out. And that's why I found I was getting burnt out constantly. So when I got diagnosed, it was kind of like okay, this is why
that makes sense.
This is why my brain is so active. Like, this is why I am the way I am, and starting to embrace that. And I'm a big believer in that balance is subjective. So the way my life is and what balance is to me is a lot different to you, right? And a lot different to the next person, and a lot different to another open side flanker. And I'll constantly be getting told to do less, or et cetera, but I enjoy doing more. I enjoy doing an extra gym session. I enjoy being creative with my drills or whatever. And, it's listening to people who don't really know you that well sometimes that's what will kind of feed that internal dialogue a little bit as well. So kind of really figuring out myself, doing a lot of deep dive in who I am and why I am the way I am, and embracing who I am has been a big thing around that. And like, I enjoy it. Like, I'm proud of the person I am. I'm proud of having ADHD. Like, I've had to be honest as well, I've had a lot of people reach out after I've spoken about it and say, wow, this is so validating to hear, or I just got tested and I actually have ADHD. Like, thank you so much. Like, this is something I really needed, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of parents as well, about like young kids who were embarrassed about their diagnosis and wanted to hide it and not be proud of it. And then me coming out and saying, this is a superpower, guys. Like, you just need to channel your energy and your thoughts and your creativity in the right areas. And yeah, like it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to have that effect on people. Like, sometimes you don't realize how much of effect you have on people in the position you were in. And I'm really grateful for that.
There's probably Force fans and indeed Wallabies fans who feel like you should have maybe played a bit more for the Wallabies last year. I know it's something you love to do. But when you look at that stacked Wallabies back row, you're going up against guys like Bobby Valentini, Harry Wilson, and in your position as well, Fraser McWright, who was incredible at times last year. When you look at someone like Fraser, who currently has a grip on that Wallabies number 7 jersey, does that give you motivation to want to match him? Fraser's kind of, for a while, he was chasing the Wallabies jersey, which Michael Hooper had. And obviously, you played alongside Michael Hooper briefly at the Waratahs. And, when you look at players in, in your position, not just locally but globally, do you kind of look at them and go, I want to match them? That's how I get better. I want to kind of be my own version of what they do, but I want to be able to kind of go head to head and toe to toe to them and prove that, I can be better or as good as you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think what you said yourself, you just said just then, like, I want to be the best version of myself to go up against them. That's what I'm about. Like, I'm used to really compare myself to other guys. I kind of realized, you know what, like, I'm completely different. I play a completely different game to Fraser, so we're never going to be equals in that sense because we play completely different games. But, I can take parts from his game and maybe add them to my game and vice versa. But look, man, like, I just think one thing I've learned is comparing yourself to others is a motivator that only lasts so long. It gets to the point where it can actually wear you out. But so like I said, I'm thriving to be the best version of myself, and I know if I do that, I'll end up in a good position. I'll end up in the best position I could possibly end up in. I mean, so yeah, like, the challenge of having these talented guys in my position is exciting. It's really exciting. But yeah, I'm just striving to be the best Carlo I can be, and yeah, like, I love it. I love the competition. I think it's awesome. But yeah, I'm competing with myself.
We've spoken a bit about Wallabies and Perth and your love of both the green and gold jersey and your home state. How much did it hurt last year to not be able to take the field against the All Blacks at Optus Stadium?
Yeah, that hurt. That really hurt. Especially considering I think I played really well coming off the bench against the All Blacks in Eden Park. Yeah, that was a tough pill to swallow. But look, that's just how it goes in professional sports. It's cruel, man. So yeah, it is what it is. Like, you can tell it brings me a bit of emotion now, especially because, my partner would have been there and my family would have been there. But at the same time, like, I look on the flip side and perspective, that night I found out I was having a baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the night I found out. So it's like, well, you know what? In the whole scheme of things, like, I'm just grateful for the position I'm in. But yeah, I definitely, when Joe told me that, and he shook my hand that Tuesday morning and told me that I'm not playing, yeah, that was tough. Yeah, I was pretty down about that one. But at the same time, like, the guys that he played deserve to be there. They definitely deserve to be there. And, I felt like I deserved to be there as well. But at the end of the day, it was Joe's decision, and I have to back that. I back his decision. He's doing what's best for the team. If that's what he believed was best for the team, then I'm all in on that, because at the end of the day, it is the team before me. And yeah, it's just, sport can be cruel sometimes, though.
It can. I remember Joe in that press conference where he announced the team, and he said, but he'd spoken to you, and I think he said, Carlo said to me, I'm bringing Bobby Valentini back, and you kind of said, "Oh, Bobby's Bobby." Like, it's, yeah. I guess, how do you, when you think back to that now, I mean, you think about, hey, in 18 months' time, Optus Stadium is going to be hosting the Rugby World Cup opener, Wallabies versus Hong Kong. It's just been announced. Does it make you want to circle that date even more so than before, and just, do everything in your capabilities to make sure that you are one of the first names on the team sheet? Is that, I don't know, I know you're a big one for goals. Is that too much of a long-term goal to pencil in at this point?
Oh, I've already thought about that since the day I did that press conference with Roger Cook at Kings Park with the World Cup right there in front of me. That's the first thing I was picturing. As soon as I was there, I was looking at it and going, "Yep, first game out of the stadium would have been cool as the All Blacks."
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Look, I don't think I can say too much, so I don't get in trouble. But I think, I don't know who organised the draw. I'm not sure if it was Rugby Australia or if it was World Rugby, whatever. But I do question, why would you not make one of the biggest rivalries in international rugby the World Cup opener?
And we've got good track record in Perth of hosting.
We sell out.
We
sold out the All Blacks game in 2 weeks before kickoff. Anyway, I can't comment too much on it because I don't agree with it. But look, if that's the decision they made, that's the decision they made. But yeah, I've circled that game though. I definitely circled that date no matter what. As soon as I saw that World Cup, I was looking at it going, yep, this is going to be me.
There are a few fans who are obviously disappointed that it's not New Zealand, but as a player, when you look at, Wallabies, Hong Kong, Rugby World Cup opener, is it just more excitement that, hey, I might be able to play in a Rugby World Cup opener?
No, I don't think about that because I feel like that's writing me off in terms of, I might only play against Hong Kong, who's like a tier 2 team. No, I'm looking for that All Blacks game. Obviously, I'm looking to play every game. Like any opportunity to put in that gold jersey is a massive honour. Like just being able to sing the anthem, no matter what team it is. Just whatever game, whatever opportunity there is to put in that jersey, I'll take it.
Carlo Tizzano, it's been an absolute joy. Thank you for your honesty, your time, just everything you do for rugby and sport in WA and for the Western Force. Looks like it's going to be another great season for the Force. Look forward to seeing you out there.
Legend, Ben. Appreciate it, mate.